of shadows.
Hi my angels, it's Hailey Reese and I hope that you guys are having an absolutely fantastic morning, afternoon, or night, whatever it is for you when this video finally reaches you. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. And if you aren't new to my channel but you enjoy my content, welcome back. I'm so excited that you guys are here. I have been getting a ton of requests recently from those of you asking me to get back into true crime and covering some true crime cases. And honestly, not only have I been listening, but lately I've been kind of on a true crime binge. I've been looking into different cases, I've been watching different documentaries, and this case in particular really jumped out to me because it kind of shows, or I guess it really shows, the extremes that some people would go to for social media fame or recognition or views. This case is really upsetting, you guys. It upset me on multiple levels, not just because whenever I look into these different cases, I put myself in everybody's shoes and I try to see how this would make me feel or what it would be like to be in that type of situation to a degree. Obviously, in certain cases, I don't put myself in certain individuals' shoes, but you know what I mean. And this case was aggravating and just really frustrating for me to dig into. And on top of that, it was just really sad to see the lengths that somebody would go for views or fame or recognition online. And this is the case of a teenager who murdered somebody for TikTok fame and recognition, which is just so disheartening and sad. But I wanted to share it with you guys because this is a recent case. This took place last year in 2020 and we are still awaiting the final outcome of this case. So I'd be really interested to hear how you guys think this case is going to end and what you assume is going to happen, because at this point I don't really know. But with all of that being said, let's get into this video. So nowadays, TikTok is one of the biggest platforms. I love TikTok. I've posted TikToks of my own. And one thing that's really great about TikTok is the way that the TikTok algorithm works. The TikTok algorithm is really in favor of each and every creator. It gives a fair opportunity for anybody to have the opportunity to go viral on TikTok or to get their TikTok seen. And a lot more people are able to gain recognition on TikTok than any other platform that I have personally seen. And one thing that was going viral quite a bit, especially in 2020 with everything going on, was the Karen TikToks, but we'll get there. It's no secret that fame, fortune, recognition, all of the above in that department has been something that's been desired by people since as long as we can remember. But the real question is, at what price will people pay for fame, fortune, followers, views, etc.? It's been made clear in the past that certain individuals will stop at absolutely no length to reach a level of fame and recognition. And in this tragic and heartbreaking case, it appears 18-year-old Zachary Latham took the life of William Timmy Durham for TikTok fame. So Zachary Latham was 16 years old when he moved into his grandparents' home. The home was on Thornhill Road in Vineland, New Jersey, and the area was described as a quiet residential neighborhood. That was until Zach moved in. Next door to his grandparents' home was the Durham family, consisting of William Timmy Durham, who his friends and those close to him knew as Timmy, and his wife, Catherine Durham, and their 2 sons. Now, I always find it strange with cases like this and covering cases like this as to what I should call somebody, because he did go by Timmy. However, that was people close to him and his close friends who called him Timmy. So for the sake of this video, just because I didn't know him personally and out of respect for him, I'm gonna refer to him as William, but he was known to many as Timmy. William Durham was a police corrections officer and a well-respected man. It was said that he was liked by many people, that those who worked with him really enjoyed working with him, and that he was a hard-working family man. Zach was emancipated at 17 and was a soldier in the army serving as a National Guard. And Zachary was married to a girl named Sarah, which some people find really strange in this case that he was 18 years old and married, but that's what it was. Now, his neighbors immediately, and more specifically the Durham family, began complaining about Zach's reckless driving almost immediately after him moving in. Apparently, he would drive at high speeds through this quiet neighborhood, and they deemed it reckless and dangerous. Now, this is understandable to me, as he posted himself driving at over 100 miles per hour in a quiet neighborhood, which in kilometers, as we measure here in Canada, is 160 kilometers an hour, which in my opinion is not only dangerous, but absolutely outrageous. So they were not impressed by his driving, to say the least, which, as I said, is completely understandable, especially when you're in neighborhoods where there's kids and people around, or a quiet neighborhood. People are bound to complain about that type of driving. That is stunt driving in a residential neighborhood. So of course, William Durham went to his grandparents and had a conversation with them about Zach's crazy driving. And his grandparents were not impressed, to say the least. They had a conversation with Zach, and they told him that he needed to go and apologize to the Durham family and make amends with what had been done and make things right. And so he did. Zach did go over to the Durham family, and he did attempt to make amends and apologize. But shortly after that apology, he just went back to his reckless ways. He did not seem to care whatsoever, and this put a really bad taste in the Durham family's mouth when it came to Zach. So they immediately had a feud, so to speak, between one another. The Durham family had a real bone to pick with Zach, and Zach just seemed like he absolutely did not care. This went on for 2 years. Zach would drive as crazy as he pleased with no remorse through the neighborhood, and eventually when the Durhams would confront him on it, he would take to filming their reactions to his reckless driving and posting it online. And when the neighbors would finally confront him once again on his reckless driving, he would not only film it, but he would post it on TikTok, claiming that he basically had Karen neighbors, which in my honest opinion, I don't even have children, and I can say that if I saw somebody doing 160 kilometers per hour in our residential neighborhood, I would have something to say about it too. But he took to TikTok and looked for validation there. In the TikTok that would go viral, Catherine Durham was confronting Zach on his reckless driving as he recorded her calling her a Karen. This was viewed millions of times, you guys, and because people only saw one side of the story, they were in favor of Zach's behavior.
Do Karen?
That's not my name, so get my name straight. Go ahead.
You okay, Karen? Go ahead, get my tag.
Go.
Get my tag, Karen.
My name is not Karen, so get my name straight.
Get my tag, it's okay.
A45MFA.
People in the comment section were encouraging him and egging him on to take it to the next level, telling him what he should do to his Karen of a neighbor. And actually, crazy enough, I do believe that I saw this particular video back last year when it was initially posted and scrolled past it, but I couldn't have even imagined what would transpire afterwards when all was said and done. But it just goes to show how when you only see one side of something on the internet, you can form a million assumptions. Like, these people were saying she's a Karen, oh my god, egg her house, etc. And I'm sure this fed, actually I'm fairly certain this fed his ego to continue doing what he was doing, and with the millions of views that he could grow from it and gain from it. With this newfound TikTok fame, it almost seemed as though Zach was on a power trip and he would do anything to keep the momentum going with this newfound fame that he had discovered online. After that video went viral on TikTok, he pulled up in front of the Durham family home, rolled down his window and yelled, "Hey Karen, we went viral." And as you guys saw in that previous video that I just shared with you from his TikTok, which by the way is no longer existent, she was really upset by him calling her Karen. I'm not even certain if she knew what he meant by that, but she was like, "My name is not Karen, stop calling me Karen." So by him rolling down the window and saying, "Hey Karen, we went viral," he knew exactly what he was doing. He was instigating, trying to grow the situation so that he could grow his social media fame, or so it seems. In one TikTok, 21-year-old William Durham Jr. came to confront Zach and talk to him about everything going on. He actually told him to get out of the car. And Zach not only filmed the entire thing and uploaded it to TikTok with these captions, by the way. Karen's son found out the video went viral and tried taking me out of the car. Blow this up for a part 3. Hashtag Karen, hashtag keeping busy, hashtag he mad, hashtag FYP, hashtag for you page. But he also threatened the son, saying he had a knife on him, which I'm sure in the moment people thought was just his way of defending himself, but what would later transpire just really gives me chills that was something he was already saying. He was a real instigator, so to speak, and constantly looking for a rise out of them. He would pull up in front of the Durham family home and rev his engine continuously. He would drive by their home and blow kisses at them when they were outside doing yard work. Like, he was doing anything he could to get a rise out of them, which, honest to goodness, this entire case aside, people like this really get under my skin. I can't stand people who will do anything in their power to get a rise out of somebody and get them mad. And I've actually said that it's one of my faults in life where I allow people to get a rise out of me in situations where I should just ignore them. So somebody like this in my neighborhood would have me irritated and pissed off too.
You said I'm an Yeah?
At this point, the Durham family was trying to deal with things legally, but supposedly because of COVID, the courts were closed. And so every single time the Durham family tried to pursue this legally, they were just met with continuous dead ends, which is so frustrating. Like, imagine trying to deal with things the right way. This kid won't stop. He's filming you. He's like getting gratification out of posting your like voicing of your opinion out of what he's doing to you online and constantly taunting you, and the courts and the legal system is just like, sorry, we can't do anything about it. It really seemed at this point like Zach was just loving every single moment of this entire thing. At one point, he posted a TikTok of himself talking with a police officer, and the police officer was saying that even though he saw video proof, he won't do anything. And at the end of that video, Zach tells the officer, "Say what's up, TikTok. Say what's up, TikTok." Like, everything that he was doing, in my personal opinion, and I'd love to hear the opinion of you guys, was just for the rise of people and for the clout on TikTok. In another TikTok, he posted a gun in his hand and said, "This is how you handle neighbors," which was also reported to authorities, yet once again, nothing was done. Now, I can't even imagine how this felt for the Durham family, trying to pursue things legally with dead end after dead end, being tortured by your teenage neighbor, and then on top of that, being blasted online where people only seeing his side of the story were commenting ways that he could up his game to get back at you guys. Like, this must have been such a frustrating and upsetting situation, especially to have to deal with during everything that 2020 brought. Unfortunately, on May 4th, 2020, things would take a absolutely horrific turn for the worse. It said that William Durham's 17-year-old son was riding his bike when Zach would swerve towards him, basically running him off the road and honk his horn obnoxiously at him. Now, this really upset the Durham family, which is completely understandable. I know that if somebody did that to me, no matter the relationship my family had with them, they'd be really upset that they tried to run me off the road and honked at me obnoxiously. So at this point, the Durham family decided enough was enough, and they were going to take a stand to Zach and everything that he'd been doing. They decided that enough was enough, and they were finally going to confront Zach on everything that he'd been doing and deal with it face to face. So they waited for Zach to return home. When Zach was returning home, William Durham put his truck in such a way that Zach wasn't able to get back to his house without stopping and facing Mr. Durham face to face. Now, Catherine Durham was recording at the time, and she was confronting Zach on everything that he'd done. She was very enraged about the situation, and she was confronting him on the fact that he tried to run their son off the road. Now, Zach denied ever having done that, but he did say that he honked at him, but that he didn't swerve at him and try to run him off the road. Now, this obviously enraged Catherine even more because she knew it to be true, and at this point, she continued to film him to where Zach would throw an elbow or a hand at her, knocking the phone out of her hand. He'd get in his car and he would go back home. He'd swerve to go back home as quickly as possible. Zach His wife Sarah and 2 of his friends returned back to their house, and Zach ran back inside immediately. Now at this point, Zach's wife Sarah began recording and walking towards William Durham's 2 sons, who were now coming up onto their property. It said that at this point, Sarah told the boys that they better back up, so to speak, because they were not gonna like what was coming. And at this point, William pulled up in his truck. So William, Catherine, and their 2 sons were now coming on to Zach's grandparents' property. Now, it is said that Sarah and Zach told the Durham family to get off of their property, that they were not welcome there, but they'd had enough of the terrorizing behaviors, and Zach swerving at their son was kind of a breaking point for them. So they continued on to the property, and they wanted to confront Zach on everything that he'd been doing and put a stop to it once and for all. But I will say it's really, really important to note that the Durham family was unarmed. None of them had any weapons on them. And with that being said, when Zach had ran back into the house, he grabbed a stun gun and 2 knives and then proceeded back out of the house for the confrontation with the Durham family, who, like I said, was completely unarmed. It's said that Zach fired the stun gun at one of the Durham children, and that William lunged at him, so to speak, and then Zach gave him a gash in his arm and retreated back to his garage with his friends and Sarah. Chaos completely broke out between everybody, as I'm sure you could imagine in a situation like this, and the stun gun was fired repeatedly, and William was stabbed a few times from Zach, who would eventually stab him in his armpit, which would puncture his lung, and it said that that was the fatal wound. The Durhams put William into the truck and went back home, and that was when Zach called 911 claiming that people had stormed his property with weapons with the intent to kill him, and he claimed that everything was done in self-defense in this 911 call, which they didn't have any weapons, so that is just simply untrue. Zach was taken to the hospital but was treated for a concussion and minor injuries, and unfortunately later William would die from his injuries, which is so sad. Like it blows my mind how quickly situations can just like take a turn for the worst. It's terrifying. Now here's where things get dark. Throughout the entire ordeal, Zach's wife Sarah recorded the entire thing. Although it was said that she told him to drop the knife, which he didn't, she still recorded the whole entire ordeal, like the entire thing, which I just find so strange. But I guess it's not that strange in this particular case, because while Zach's lawyers have denied this, it is believed that everything that happened was for TikTok fame. Yeah, he killed his neighbor for TikTok fame. Zach's wife Sarah said that she recorded the entire ordeal because they'd planned to post it on TikTok to become TikTok famous. This whole case just blows my mind. Like, it's disgusting the levels that people will go to for fame and views and recognition. And the lawyers representing the Durham family also believed that everything was done for TikTok fame. Every single time that he egged the family on and instigated situations, he filmed it and posted it on TikTok with captions like, "Blow this up for a part 3. It was very obvious his intention behind taking those videos.
You said I'm an Yeah?
And if it was out of self-defense, like he would later claim, why wouldn't he, his wife, and his friends retreat into the home, lock the doors, call the police, and deal with it properly? Why did he run inside and immediately get weapons? Why was his wife already outside with the camera going, saying, "You better back up, you're not gonna like this," if it wasn't his intention to do that for TikTok? Despite his attempt to claim self-defense, Zachary Latham was charged with first-degree aggravated manslaughter and other offenses as well. William Durham's wife and 2 kids were also charged. They were charged with simple assault and trespassing. So you're probably wondering what happened to Zach afterwards, since this is a very recent case. And I think that you would be shocked to know that after everything transpired, he was still going to TikTok and social media and making a mockery of his crime and slandering the family, etc., until he was told he was no longer allowed to speak on it publicly. And he's currently not in prison as he awaits his next court date, which is set for May of 2021, so May of this year. And I don't know about you guys, this case is just so disheartening on so many levels. I ache for the family who has lost a father, a husband. I ache for those who have lost a friend. I just ache for people who have lost William Durham. But on top of that, it's so disgusting to me that the motive behind this could be TikTok fame and recognition. It's like, at what price do you put fame above morals? The whole case is really disheartening to me, and I'm very, very curious to see how it ends and what the final verdict is in all of this. So I would love to know what you guys think of this particular case, but I did want to share it with you because it is a recent and ongoing case that is just sad. It's sad on so many levels, and honestly, Zach is just such a troublemaker in my eyes and such a disturber, and I think this all could have been avoided, but it also is really disheartening for me to hear that the Durham family was trying to deal with this legally and they received no support in that department. So I would love to know your guys' thoughts on this particular case. Please comment them down below. And that is it for today's video. As I said, I've been really enjoying diving through different true crime cases. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I used to really want to study criminal psychology. Just the thought process of individuals who can commit such disturbing crimes is something that I really would love to look into and just understand better. So if there's any other cases that you guys want me to dive into and share with you, definitely let me know in the comments below. And that is it for today's video. If you guys are new to my channel or you are just not yet subscribed but you do enjoy my videos, I would seriously love it so much if you go ahead and click that subscribe button, and please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Remember, I love to do all things with kindness, and until next time, I love you guys.